Okay then. Right. So
this is the most professional thing I've ever been on.
We're pros here, man.
We are pros. We are pros.
Right. Okay then. So here we go then. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good times, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and all that good jazz. Today with me, as always, is Mr. Chris Cute.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
Returning again, Mr. Jake Thompson.
Hello, y'all.
And once again, returning, I think it's probably your second show, isn't it, Jay? Is Jay Rivera.
Hi, Jay.
Hey.
So before we crack on with the show, just going to say a quick reminder, this podcast is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grip, the wood turner's abrasive paste, yeah, one of them. Our good friend Chad over at Mancraft, who makes the awesome powder-coated Yeti mugs. Pam from Highland Boxes, who makes these awesome resin and hybrid blanks. And Steve Harnell, or Steve Neelan from Harnell Media, who takes all my credit for doing the website and all that sort of stuff.
Yay, Steve. Hope he's feeling better.
So, yeah, all that stuff. So you can find all the information about our sponsors over at makeransinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. So, yeah, on to about Richard. So Richard is he's been doing a hell of a lot in his personal life, and he's pretty damn tired. So we kind of told him to take a little hiatus from the podcast, just to kind of get some rest, if you like, and spend a bit of time with the family and all that good stuff. So we're not going to see Richard for a little while, because obviously we want family to come first, and well, me and Chris ain't that important, to be honest with you.
That's an understatement, but yeah. Okay.
So yeah, Rich is going to be away for a little while, but he should be back. We hope he'll be back. So
he'll be back. He's working. He's actually doing, because he's doing his normal job during the day.
Yeah, and he took on an extra job working for the National Health Service because of the whole COVID situation and all that stuff. So he's kind of volunteering his services. So he's doing a good deed.
Do what you got to do, Richard. We got your back.
Mm-hmm. Got your back, Jack.
Got your back, Jack.
Okay. So that's all that stuff out of the way. So, Chris, any listener questions?
We've got a lot of questions that came in today because, as you can see in the title of the show, we called it Troublemakers, and so of course all the troublemakers had questions. But first off, let's get this straight, because of the stereotypes that people have, people are going to automatically assume that the Bronx, New York Jay is probably the biggest troublemaker in the room that we have today. But the truth is, and I believe this with my heart, that good old Jake there from Texas probably wears that crown for being look at him. See, he's got such an innocent persona until you get to know him.
Look at his eyes. He can't even look straight into the camera.
Yeah, it's like if you put that boy on a lie detector right now, he would fail. Anyway, so I don't know what you're expecting from Jay, because Jay actually is a very warm-hearted, loving individual, and he'll just tell you to screw off when you deserve it. I mean, and if you don't, he won't.
He's a nice guy. Just don't upset him.
Yeah.
All right. Be stupid.
All right. We'll tackle this. Andy Pugh, probably Sam Adams. Okay, whatever. Thanks for talking about Sam Adams. I appreciate it. Gentlemen, this is a question from me. And just because I saw a lot of conversation about this earlier in the week, and I was just curious. And Jamie, this doesn't pertain to you, so I'm sorry, my friend. I'm leaving you out. It's basically to my American compatriots. The metric system. I'm talking tape measures here, guys, not the speed of your automobile. All right, tape measures. I have to admit, I've been around for go ahead. Okay, I'm opening myself up. Yeah. I'm opening up myself for a joke here. Yeah. I've been around for a while.
Wow.
Go ahead, get it out of your system. Come on, get it out of your system.
You were part of the three wise men.
Yeah, I was back when they measured things in stones. I've been around a while, and have spent my whole life with miles, yards, feet, and inches, and in fractions, and I think most Americans have, and it served me well so far. However, I don't think that there is much discussion to be had when it comes down to which system is actually allows you to be more accurate. I think the metric system wins that one hands down. So Jake, Jay, being the imperial measurement guys that we are, or ladies, if you're if you're listening, can you ever see yourself switching out your tape measure for one that measures in like millimeters, centimeters, and meters instead of fractions, inches, and feet? Do you find the need? Because, and I'll give the backstory to this too, because back in the 70s, the late 70s, when I was in high school, go ahead, figure that out, break out the calculator. There was a real push to integrate the metric system into the American culture, because we realized that it was a better system, or at least somebody did back at that time. And in school, we were required to start learning how the metric system worked. Now, most of us never caught on, and it didn't seem like the teachers were too enthusiastic about teaching it either. But so the metric system never caught on in the United States. But as shop guys, as makers, can you see yourself switching from the imperial to metric anytime in the future, or do you just not need that to do inches and feet and work well enough for you?
So there's a quick Dale from Maple Tree Studio just put, well, there's two kinds of inches. There's real inches and man inches. What one are you talking about?
Well, I'm not talking about fish inches. The fisherman, he catches a fish this big, and he says, oh, it was 12 inches long. No, I'm not talking about that, Dale. So calm down. And I'm not talking about the male. I'm not talking about the male body part either. So leave that one alone. Again, Jake, I'll ask you: can you see yourself tape measure as far as measuring things of that nature? Because I know that you use the metric system when it comes to measuring things by volume. Sometimes, do you not?
I do.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were to switch over a tape measure, would you be interested in switching over from imperial to metric, or do you don't really think it matters?
It makes more sense. It's totally easier, but we have it so deep ingrained in our brain, the system we use. So, and when I need an exact number, if I can't figure out the fraction, I'll get something in metric, and it's way easier. But it's so deep ingrained into what we do and we've done it for so long that we're too hard-headed to change.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. What about you, Jay? I mean, because and in case you don't know, Jay works at he does making for a living, so he works in a professional shop. I mean, can you see the advantage to switching over? Because I mean, let's just put it this way, guys. Yeah, okay. Yes. Well, let's just put it this way. I catch a lot of guff on this podcast from my two British counterparts regarding this, and so I wanted to ask an honest question. So, Jay, go ahead.
Actually, what I do is, for everyday use, I do not use the metric system. But actually, when I have to do a measurement in a customer's home, or something like that, and I need it to be exact, I will use the metric system because it's just a better system. It's more accurate, and it's easy for me because I'll write everything down or whatever the case may be, and to come back to my shop after doing all that, very easy. I'll just ask my phone, and it'll give me the conversions. But it's a better system in my opinion. If you're making something down to the hair, you need that. I would definitely advise you to use the metric system.
Okay. See, I mean, it's so ingrained in me that I know what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what Jake is saying. I just don't think I'd ever be able to. I don't think I'd ever incorporate that as I would never throw away my imperial tape measure and pick up a metric only tape measure. I just don't see that happening.
But that's the thing, like Jake was saying, that it's so deep inside us that we just don't see that happening. But if you was put into a situation that you were surrounded with everything, like if you went to the big box stores or whatever the case may be, and all they did was everything was in metric. You order wood or you order material, you would learn it like this because it's an actual easy system, and then you would it would be second nature to you. It would be nothing to you. But because we're surrounded completely with the imperial system, that's what we are comfortable with because it's always around us.
And to add on to that point, as far as measuring resin, that's like the standard. That's how everybody does it, is by grams. So if I was over here talking about ounces and I tried to explain to somebody what I was doing, they wouldn't have a clue what I was doing. So I need to speak the same language as everybody else that's doing that particular thing.
Exactly. That's why I say, it depends where you're at. Because if you're, just like anything in life, if you're around a certain thing, then you would adapt to that, because we're humans. We always adapt to our environment. But if you have the metric system all around you, you can say now, it would be difficult to me, whatever the case may be. But in fact, it would actually become second nature to you, because that's all that's around you.
Right. Well, that's kind of my point. It would almost have to be forced on us to use it. And let's be honest, it's really hard to force anything on America. We can't even get people to wear masks, for crying out loud. I mean, how do you enforce? Like you said, Jay, you would almost have to just totally get rid of all the imperial measurement tape measures and things of that nature out of all the big box stores. Yeah, thank you, Jay. And replace it with metric. But you know what would happen if you did that? eBay would have an explosion of sales. Yeah, so it's I don't know if it's worth it or not. I appreciate the fact that the rest of the world is on the right system and that we're still on the wrong system, but I don't see it changing anytime soon, personally. All right, Jay, you squared away? Doesn't look like it. All right, we'll just move on.
I can't hear nothing.
Emma Murray and Jamie, we can start with you on this one since we kind of left you out of that conversation. Emma Murray has a couple questions. If you could do a collaboration with anyone, and I know you've done several with a lot of people, but if you could do a collaboration with anyone, who would it be and why?
Oh, I mean, there's to be honest, there's a few people in this community. I think I've answered this one before, and I think the last time I probably said Izzy would definitely be one. I mean, the way that guy's mind works is just. But I think I'd like to work with Berkey for a day and work on something. I think that would be fun. Not only would it be fun, I'd like to see what we could come up with.
All right. You know what? I agree with you. And there goes Jay again. Jesus, the boy's a nonconformist. Anyway, Jake, what about you?
The obvious choice would be resin artists and stuff like that, but I'm a YouTube fan, a video fan, and the first person I liked when I first started watching YouTube and stuff was Get Hands Dirty, Cristiano.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And then you're a fan of other people. You get to meet them finally. And Laura Kampf was the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although both of them were awesome, like I had individual conversations with both of them, Laura, I'd just like to hang out with her for a day. She's a super awesome person. And the conversation we had was, it hit home, and it'll become, I'll talk about it later whenever I go to quit my job and do this full time. She has a big part to do with it.
Awesome. Well, okay. I'm not going to ask you to espouse beyond that because, I mean, obviously you're all right. You're good. You're golden there. My answer is going to be pretty much the same as Jamie's because there are a lot of people that I would like to do a collaboration with, but I say that, and by saying I'd like to do a collaboration with somebody, what I'm actually, Jesus, Jay, what I'm actually saying is I'd like to learn from these guys. So there's a lot of people out there that I'd like to work with because I could learn something from them. And Berkey's one of them. Jamie Izzy's another one. I mean, I've been with Jimmy, but I've never been with Jimmy when he was actually making something, so I couldn't ask him questions. I've always been with Jimmy at his house or at his shop when people were just standing around. I've never actually worked with him while he was working. So there are people that I would like to work with. Just because I know, and for purely selfish reasons, because I could learn something from them. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know. I'm willing to do anything with. Well, I should probably rephrase this. I would be willing. See, I was going down the wrong path there for a second. I'm willing to do a collaboration with just about anyone. When it comes to something, I mean, as long as I don't have to step outside of my comfort zone to do it, I would like to be able to do something that was worthwhile. There's Jay. Hi,
Can you
Jay.
hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. We'll get you situated.
Yeah,
Can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
All right. Well, then let me ask you the question that we've all just answered, and then we can move on from there. As soon as you move your fat fingers from the hey.
Oh, you lucky I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. Emma Murray wanted to know if you could do a collaboration with anyone, meaning if you could work with anybody, Jay, who would it be and why?
Who would I be?
Who would it be?
Who would it be?
Yeah.
I would love to do a build with Berkey and Izzy Swan.
Berkey's getting a lot of and so is Izzy. Okay.
One because they're great friends of mine and they're stupid creative. Stupid too, but whatever. But honestly, I would love to. Honestly, I really wouldn't care. But it would have to be with somebody that is completely outside the box. I hate doing things that's like so traditional.
Right.
Because it's like you're working with a 1940s mentality. And that's absurd to me. It's 2020. Why, and it's not shooting shots at anybody that is, only hand tools. It's not that. It's just a mentality of like, this is the way it goes. So that's the way it's got to be. And it's like, I don't know if you know this, but they make something called a table saw. And it's like, it's like, like I appreciate people who do other than, other things, but it's like, I truly want to say that you're
looking for somebody that's going to be creative and fun to work with.
Exactly. Somebody that's creative and fun and something that I normally don't do, which is like woodworking. I would love to deal with like some type of machinist thing or some type of metalworking or something like that in that realm.
Awesome. All right.
That's kind of one of the reasons why I picked Izzy. I mean, who else really do you know that can make a dinosaur walk with a hand drill?
Yeah, I see. That's what I mean. Like, I want outside the box, totally new ideas. I don't want anything that is. I don't like the norm. I don't appreciate the norm because I'm not the norm type of guy, anyways. So I would have to say something like that, something that is definitely out of the box. I just want nuts, crazy. Let's do it.
All right, that works.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbie the welder. I'm sorry, Barbie the welder.
Yeah,
she is out of her mind, and I love it.
Yeah, she makes some cool stuff.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm playing.
Last of Emma's questions today, gentlemen. Is there a project that you guys want to do or try, but you just haven't gotten around to it yet, or because you haven't gotten to the point where you feel comfortable making it? I mean, I guess what she's basically asking is, do you have like a dream build in the back of your mind that someday you would like to do? And let's not get stupid about it. I mean, I'm something that's reasonable, that's practical, that you'd like to tackle in the future. Jake, start with you.
I've been wanting to build a resin room that's temperature controlled, and I'll have cameras set up to do lives and be cool. And it's not really that hard to do. I just, with COVID and work and everything, I can't get to it. I just can't get to it. And but it's going to happen. But
it's something that's it. Yeah.
Mm.
Of course. Now, Jay, you make all kinds of crazy stuff already just to doing it with your business. But let's just say the business ended tomorrow and you had a separate source of income coming in, or all of a sudden you won the New York freaking lotto, and you were able to sit back and just say, what the heck do I want to make? What would it be?
I think I'd take a drive to freaking Jimmy's house or to like to I don't know. I honestly I don't know. I really don't know because I enjoy what I'm doing. I do miss certain materials, certain mediums, but it'd probably be into something of more of the material type, which is like leather working or something like that. For like personal carry and stuff like that.
All right. Well, Jamie and I have answered this question several times in the past, but Jamie, has your answer changed?
Do you know what? I think it kind of has. So, and this is only because of the size of the scroll saw that I've got. Now, I could easily do this project on the saw that I have got, but due to the size of it, so I've got a pattern for a clock that I want to make, but due to the size of the pattern, it's just not possible to make. So once the saw's upgraded, I'll be able to get that done. So yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to being able to do.
You know, every single hand tool guy right now is like, you can do it with a hand tool. You don't need a saw.
Not with this many cuts, you can't.
Well, if there's a will, there's a way.
Well, if you can find a coping saw with a 30-inch throat,
they'd
you can make it.
They'd have a point with mine. I mean, because mine hasn't changed either. I still would like to make a boat, a wooden boat. And I'd probably start out with like a canoe. But I mean, eventually, do you know those old wooden power boats? Do you remember those things? Those things are freaking gorgeous. I would love to A, have the craftsmanship, and B, have the tooling in order to make one of those.
I'm glad you didn't say you wish you had the time.
No, I've got the time. I just don't. I don't believe I have the skill and or the tooling that I would need in order to do that correctly.
Have you tried?
I haven't tried. Jay, to be honest with you, yes, I have, but I've done it on a very miniature scale. So it was more of a scale model type thing. So you put it together, you think it's going to float, and I can tell you right now, mine would have wound up in Gilligan's Island. So yeah, I've got some skill work to do there. It's like the tale of the 7 castaways would be if you got on my boat right now. But yeah, and we don't want that anyway. So okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
We got more questions, and hey, if people are out there and they want to ask questions of these two upstanding gentlemen in our community,
damn right.
I said that with a straight face.
Now.
I said that with a straight face. Then please feel free to ask them. And Jamie's watching the chat, so he'll grab your question and ask these two fine, upstanding individuals.
I am now.
Your query. Shut up, Jay. Andy Pugh asks, when is Jay going to do another collaboration with Chris? How many have we done together? Is it 2 or 3?
I think it's 3.
We've done several. And you know what? I don't mind telling you, the video is never as good as the time that Jay and I spend with each other. We have a lot of fun when he comes by my shop. As Jamie was mentioning, that one time that we built that it was a bench out of 2x4s.
That's right.
Yeah. And yeah, that was
one where you carried the 1 2x4.
Yeah, that's where Jay carried that's where Jake carries like 10 2x6s on his shoulder, and I pick up 1 2x4. Yeah. Anyway,
barely. You drag it along the floor.
Well, what do you want? That takes effort, Jamie. And I had Jay, who can carry 10, 12 2x6s. I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that Jay and I do have a kind of a collaboration that we haven't really kind of worked out yet.
Yes.
A couple years ago, and Jay and I have been to the Springfield woodworking show in the past. I think a couple times we've gone there together, like twice, I believe. I think once I rode up in your van, the next time you rode up with me. But the last time we rode up there, we bought, and I actually did a video about drying this wood out and how to do it. And blah,
yes,
blah, blah.
That's right.
Yeah, we did. I've got 2 slabs of black walnut that Jay bought one and I bought the other, and we had intended to do some sort of collaboration. Then, this whole COVID thing took place, and it hasn't happened. But yeah, we've got something in the work. I don't know what we're gonna. Jay and I haven't even thought about that in a while. I don't think, but it's
Actually,
still.
I have thought about it. And that's gonna have to be like my weekend vacation because of work being so busy right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I have thought about it recently because my fiance was telling me like, so because she likes the whole family getaway stuff and everything like that.
Right.
So she brought up pumpkin picking.
Oh, nice.
She was like, "Do you remember when we went pumpkin picking with Chris and his wife?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Hold on, didn't you tell me that you have some project?" And I was like, "Don't start. Don't start." That's been in the work for like 2 years.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten.
We haven't even designed the damn thing. Just relax. But yeah, I actually have been thinking about it. But
Okay.
like I said, because of work being so demanding right now,
It's not going to happen anytime soon. But Andy, yeah. I think that's probably in the works, even if it's not the 2 pieces of black walnut. I mean, at some point in time, Jay and I will get together and we'll be stupid for your entertainment. What about you? And because I mean, Jay, this is a free plug for Jamie, and if he can, and because I don't want to have him bring it up on his own. Okay, and I'm gonna steal some of your thunder because I know your shout out today has something to do with this, but Jay and excuse me, Jake and Jamie, JJJ and C today. Anyway,
always the oddball, huh?
You two are kind of doing a collab sort of right now that people aren't quite aware of yet, but they soon will be. Do you guys ever plan?
Half it's out already, but you'll see that when it comes to the shout outs.
Okay, well, I don't want to steal your thunder, so we'll leave that alone. Then. We'll leave that alone. But I was just,
Chris.
Outside of that, is there? I mean, because Jake, you went over to the UK for was it Maker Central #2?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, you were pretty busy, and you were toting people around in the car you rented. So I mean, you didn't have a chance to actually sit down in the shop and collaborate with anybody. But should you ever get together, could do you think you and Jamie could ever do a collaboration or something?
Absolutely.
We kind of did already. I mean, he turned up at my house and was like, "I made you a blank," and so I turned that like Summit Maker Central and finished it off at my house. But yeah, we could definitely do something.
Awesome, because I'd like to see that.
We even filmed that scene from Titanic on the River Thames.
Yeah.
Oh God, please don't. Oh, no, please do that. No, yes, absolutely do that. I just want to know.
We did.
It's done.
Video footage.
Yeah, it's done.
All right, who was the Jake?
He's a lot taller than me. I had to.
You had to play
for the team.
Jake was the girl. Jamie was the guy.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, geez, can't believe we've killed a half an hour already. Has there been any questions out in the chat, Jamie?
Dead Rise Woodcraft says, "How sweet is Jamie's tea?" I don't drink tea. I have coffee.
They have coffee. That's it. There's no Starbucks or fancy frappuccino. None of that stuff. It's you want some coffee and you say yes, and they give you a cup of coffee.
It's a cup of Joe.
I don't think Jay was paying much attention to the shops because we do have coffee shops over here. I think he was just too busy aiming for pizza delivery guys on motorcycles while he was driving.
I tried to kill like 3 of them.
Are these the guys in the UK on the mopeds with the pizza boxes behind them? I've seen them. I know what you're talking about. That
was only in one day.
They have good reflexes, man. They're good. Yeah.
They're like the bike people in Manhattan.
Yeah.
They just weave out the way out of nowhere. I got him. Yeah, no, you don't. Try again. Had it.
They're good.
You almost had it.
All right. Let's kill pedestrians. This is a good show.
Kelly Sanders asked where to get that T-shirt from that Jake's wearing. I'll put a link in the chat. So there you go.
Was there a question about how to change your how to accept change or something like that?
No. Yeah, there is. That's actually my next question, Jake.
Okay. I'll let you run the show.
No, it's no. Jake, hey man, it's all yours. Go right ahead. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Probably more qualified than I am for crying out loud. Anyway, okay. Andy Pugh's question that Andy all of a sudden turned into Kreskin and knew was coming. I may be wrong, he says, but and Jake, since you asked, you have to go first now, farthead.
Whatever.
I told you that dude was a troublemaker. Jay has given me no problem also, and it's just anyway. All right, Andy says I may be wrong, but I believe that both Jay and Jake have managed significant change in their lives. Could they offer some gems of wisdom that they have learned in the process of that change? So, Jake, I guess first of all, that's a very personal question. So, Andy, that hairy balls for asking, but Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Andy, for the question. I changed a career and a hobby over a back injury. And I was hanging on to, well, this job's not as good as that last job. This hobby, I'm expected to do this hobby because I've done it for so long. And then I went from drag racing to woodworking because it was fun. But I always thought there was a piece of me, there was people expected me to do the racing. And until I accepted that change and went full bore, I went all the way into, and I accepted it, and then it was always stagnant and it wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't getting better until I did away with one and then accepted the change that was presented to me in my life. And once I did that and accepted fully that this is what I'm going to do now, and then you put your effort into it, then that's when you're going to get your rewards. Accept change.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Let me shoot a video with Drew Short. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
was awesome. He was awesome, and went up there and he said, the last thing he said was me, don't sell yourself short, because he saw the doubt and he saw that I wasn't quite sure. I wasn't as committed. I didn't know that I belonged here. And then once you accept it, one of the things Lord told me, one of the things Lord told me was dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Mm-hmm. Always
That's
true.
it. Change your life. It's change your life. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't put a suit and tie on if you're applying to be a framing carpenter. Show up in some friggin' blue jeans and a work shirt and let them know you're ready to go. Jake, if you don't mind, we don't need to go on and on about this because I know it's a life left behind at this point in time. But because you were a mechanic, but what did you do in drag racing? Was that your field? You were working on the cars, or were you a driver?
I worked at a dealership, and it's a pretty successful kind of a job, and it was all right. And then my hobby on the side was I had a car that we'd take out to the drag strip and traveled around and raced, and it was fun. But then once I had the back injury, even after I quit my job, I quit that job and went to the job I have now. I'd go racing, but it hurt. It hurt getting in and out of the car. It hurt working on the car. It hurt. I'd get to the end of the race and I'd have to wait to get out of the car to my back so I could physically get out.
Were you racing dirt tracks or are you racing asphalt?
I was doing straight line drag racing.
Oh, drag racing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts getting electrocuted.
That hurts. That hurts.
So you were kind of doing the funny car thing.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, Jay. I mean, and my friend, I know you have made some major changes in your life, and well, I don't know about major. I mean, you're still the same lovable person that I've known since, say, for the last 6 or 7 years. But you have gone through some changes recently, and if you get all vegan on me right now, we're going to end the show. So you can mention it. No, you can mention it, but let's just move on, all right? Because we're going to
actually, it has nothing to do with that. It's I'm going to say that the most impactful changes, because as you said, I made multiple changes. From starting a new family to outside activities and stuff like that. The most impactful thing that I realized was don't be scared. Too many people are scared. Like you want to do something. You have a passion. You have a passion for this. You know that you want to do this. You know that that's all you can think about while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. And that hesitation, as Jake said earlier, that hesitation is what stops you from being the best version of you. And once you realize that, you know what, if I ever want to make myself that person that I can see, and I'm being realistic with myself, which is another thing that a lot of people don't do. We're not realistic with ourselves. We have these dreams that, sad to say, that's all they're ever going to be, because it's not a realistic dream, because they're either going to give up on it, or they're not going to commit all the way, or they're going to hit a stumble and they're going to give up, and that's it. It's not for me. It's, but once you make the full dive, like if you're jumping off a cliff and there's nothing there to catch you, and all you see underneath you is beautiful blue water.
But you don't want to hit that water.
But you don't want to hit the water. You're going to hit the water. It's either way, you're going to hit the water.
Right.
So what do you got to do? You got to commit. You just got to go. And when you jump off, you can be scared. You can be, doubtful. It's too late. You're in. So you might as well commit completely, or you're going to belly flop. And we all know how that feels. Yeah. So why not commit yourself completely and believe in yourself?
What did you do?
Well, what I did is I made a mental change, and I stopped thinking about, because I personally don't care about anybody outside of my circle. I personally don't give a damn. But I had to say, okay, if I think like this, then I have to fully commit myself and believe in myself that I can be the person that I need to be to take care of my circle. I started running, and I committed myself. I mean, I was 3.5 months away from the marathon. I was over 400 pounds. I was 450 pounds.
And you're running marathons.
And I literally, before the marathon and everything, I wound up losing 100 pounds because I believed in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into running because of my fiance. I'm a type of person that I have an addictive personality. I'm either 0 or 100. That's it. And I idle at 70. Right. So I commit. So I got into this running thing, and boom, I got into it all the way, found a crew, whatever the case may be. And then all of a sudden, I was 3.5 months away from, almost 4 months away from the New York City Marathon, one of the biggest marathons in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I never ran a day in my life besides a half a mile. And that's with most walking.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me, you can do it. I know you can. I said, all right, frick it. I'm doing it. And I committed myself. I wind up getting a sponsorship with Nike. In this 3.5 months, a sponsorship with Nike. I did a commercial, an ad with Nike. I wind up getting all types of things and finishing a marathon with just 3.5 months of training. Wow. Never ran a day in my life.
That's impressive.
Okay. Finished it. Did that. Continued on doing more things, and kept on with just the mentality of, I'm not going to give up on myself. Because I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. The people that's around you, which I want to add to what Jake said, it's about the people around you that you have as well. Supportive. If you surround yourself with a bunch of maybes and not doers, then you're going to always maybe do something. You're going to have to do it. But if you got yourself, if you want to be a doctor, surround yourself with doctors. Surround yourself with doctors. You'll be a doctor. You ain't got no damn choice, because you're going to be like a loser. So that's what I did. I surrounded myself. I believed in myself. And then I started making changes that I didn't even believe. Now I'm doing things left and right that I just honestly I didn't believe. Of course, with the COVID thing, I had to scale back a couple of things.
Right.
But that was the main change that I made that I want to advise anybody that's ever going to hear this or watch this. Truly believe in yourself and don't care what anybody else around you says, because they're not you. They're just going to say to you their fears, their doubts, their distrust of themselves, and they're going to try to push it on you.
You know, I think there are those people out there. There are those people out there that will see what you're trying to aspire to do, and they know that if you achieve it, you're gonna be in their mind. It's not true, but in their mind, they think, well, he's got to be better than me, and so they have a very negative attitude towards what you're doing, and they try to dissuade you from doing it. And I'm not saying all the people in your life are like that, but I think we all know a few that would all of a sudden decide to cast aspersions on your hopes and dreams and going, well, I wouldn't do that because you're going to look like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly what happened to me whenever I started put the woodworking equipment in the shop and I sold the car, and people straight up just call me stupid. They only did it once, but
they did it.
You know, they did it, and that's their doubts that I can't do it, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. And those are the people that you have to be like, you know what? I don't need you. I don't need you, because I got rid of my ex-wife. All right. My ex-wife was one of those people that she would be like, you know, I did a couple of very high profile jobs, and all of a sudden she'd be like, why would you do that? You can't do that. That's too big of a project. You mean you can't do that? Watch me.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? But then that's
Yeah.
when you have to turn that negative crap that's being pushed on you and push it away. And all you got to do is, you know how you flick on a light bulb or a flashlight and it cuts through the dark? That's all you got to be, is that little shine of light. Crack open the door a little bit. You see that light will flood in and be that ray of positivity, and you'll rock it through. But you have to believe in yourself.
See, I'm one of those people that as soon as somebody tells me I can't, I will.
Yeah.
That's just I mean, it's my mentality. I've been like that kind of a belligerent person since I was a kid. And, you know, even that's why I got in so much trouble when I was in school, because, you know, the rules are the rules and you can't. And I go, oh yeah, watch, you know, hold my beer.
If you ask anybody, if you ask anybody who was watching me train for the New York City Marathon, they would always ask me, why are you doing this? You only have 3.5 months to run a marathon. You're not going to do this. You're crazy. And I was like, because I have to. What do you mean you have to? You don't have to do anything. Yeah, I do. I have to. Well, what do you mean you have to? I have to prove you wrong, and I have to prove myself right.
See, that's the way I was. I'm a very belligerent person. You tell me I can't, and I'll show you that I can.
But I think it also has to do with not belligerent, but it also has to do with belief. Because hearing that in your life, hearing that, you're going to hear that all throughout your life. You're going to start to believe it.
That's self-confidence. That's because you know, you get told no, and you look at the guy and you go, oh yeah, you don't know me very well, because I am now going to commit my entire life to making sure that this actually happens and that you look stupid.
And see, that's the part right there. You also have to realize it might not be the next day thing.
No, it's not.
If you truly believe yourself and you want that change, work at it.
You're going to have to work at it. Exactly. All right, let's move on, boys. Enough serious talk for today.
That was good professional stuff right there.
All right. Well, can I drink my beer now? Then? Okay,
Go ahead.
Next question from Mr. Pugh. This is actually pretty funny. Andy Berkey, madman, genius, or both?
Both.
More than you know.
We'll just call him awesome.
More than you know. He is beyond psychotic. They actually have a little definition for him that's in the dictionary that's not printed out yet.
Well, I tell you what, I will give Andy this, and he will appreciate it as a compliment, because it is. And in my opinion, Andy Berkey is yes, he's a madman. Yes, he's a genius. But morally, not morally, but I mean, most of all, he is. He's just weird.
Yeah. You know what? To say that though, yes, he's weird. He's out of his freaking mind. But you know what?
He's awesome.
That's what makes him him.
He wears it with pride.
You know,
The
Berkey's
norm is so cautious. Being normal is so cautious that any little thing outside of the normal is like, oh hell no, and he's like, oh hell yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
and that's why it makes him him. Beautiful person all around.
That
So
man.
correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but you've actually got a Berkey related tattoo, haven't you?
Yes, I do, and I'll show
There-
and prove
there's-
right now.
So that means there's at least 3 of us that have got a Berkey related tattoo.
Oh, he's got the skeleton. Jay has the skeleton running with the bomb on his arm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So I know me and Sterling have both got Seymour. I don't know if anyone else has got one. So
that's
shows
believe it
you
or not,
what-
out of all my tattoos, that's my most favorite one.
So
I do-
I think that kind of tells you what kind of a person Berkey is if people are willing to do that.
Well, here's
Amazing
the
human
deal.
being.
I mean, here's the deal with Andy. At least within our circle, as Jay was mentioning, and we have and this circle has grown very large in the recent years. But even in amongst our circle, the man is an influencer,
Yes.
and it's not because he has a million subscribers on YouTube. It's not because he has a gazillion followers on Instagram. It's because he is just well known.
He's just him. That's
It's
the
just-
point. He's
it's
just him.
It's just Andy, and Andy is infectious. And that's the last nice thing I'm going to say about him, because the man promotes tacos way too much.
He also tells people not to watch the rest of his videos.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually told an audience not to watch Jimmy's live videos anymore.
He is. He has a rowdy side. That dude has a rowdy side for sure.
We could fill a show.
Yeah, we'll be quiet about that part because I was alone in the car with him.
Oh yeah, and yeah, Jay and I never mind. We're not even going to go there, boys. All right, last question. Then we've got to turn it over to Jamie's vocals. So please make this a lengthy answer, Jake, because it's directed totally at you, and it's from Andy Pugh. He says, "Will Jake be making another river table with paper money, I guess instead of coins, anytime soon, or is that something you would even think about doing?"
Well, I gave that real long, hard thought, and no.
That's a hell no.
No, that was a big project, and people want to blame me for the change shortage. And I put 5 $1 bills in a resin bowl one time, and people thought I could cure hunger and feed families with that money, and I needed to go to jail for destroying money, so I'll just leave the paper money alone.
But even
for a while,
even in the midst of a coin shortage, you didn't get any grief over making the coin river table?
probably hundreds of comments.
Oh, seriously?
Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But everybody, it was all good fun. It wasn't like people were really mad at me about the paper money, but it was all in good fun with the comments that I got on the table.
Oh, good.
Because he's a Texas oil man, he can waste
Yeah, I'm
all
a
these.
super rich dude over here.
You know why? It's because you used pennies. If you'd have put dimes or quarters in there, I think you'd have been screwed.
There's a little bit of that in there. But,
Well,
you know,
listen, we're not going to promote that right now. 'Cause I don't wanna-
Be careful.
it's on the video.
I haven't noticed.
Blur
Unless
that out a little bit.
Oh, you guys are both madmen, and I love you both. I swear to God, I do. And Jay, I can't wait until the day we can get back together again. Jay lives in the Bronx in New York, and he's like, I guess maybe an hour away from me, and so that's why you see Jay and I together, at least on camera, as often as you do. So, and he comes by, and I've yet to move. I've yet to drive to New York because I'll be honest with you, I'm a little scared to drive to New York City. I will take a train into New York and ask Jay to pick me up if I ever go to see him. Anyway,
Call you an Uber.
Yeah, there you go.
You're
gonna see this-
That means you can get drunk, Chris.
yeah. Well,
I
he's going to say,
can't
he's going to tell the
stand
Uber
that.
driver, don't worry about it. He's the only guy in the city that's wearing a Boston hat. So
Yeah.
he won't be hard to spot. Yeah, if you can just, help the guy get the people that are spitting on him off of him, that would be nice. Because I swear, I've been to New York City so many times. I went and saw Jimmy on several occasions when his shop used to be down there. And, I've just been there as a tourist when we first moved here and stuff. And I've worn this hat every time I've been there. And I'm telling you, the comments I get from my brothers in New York City are rather funny. And I seriously, to the point where I'm laughing with them. I mean, I'm cracking up.
Creative. Very creative.
Oh, very, very. New Yorkers are one thing. If you've never been to New York, if you've never spent any time in New York, and I've spent some time in New York, you don't realize how creative these people can be. They can tell you to go to, they can tell you to go to hell and make you feel really funny, good about it, and make you laugh.
Well, you can take a newspaper and make it into underwear. We're creative.
Yeah, and you got a cowboy with diapers on.
Oh, the singing cowboy.
The singing cowboy that plays the guitar. Yeah.
Did you guys hear about the freaking other people that actually got into a fight recently?
No.
Yeah, they got into a fight. All those people that dress in those weird fetish Elmo dolls and stuff like that.
Oh, you're kidding.
They all got into a fight for space. And they charge you $5 to take a picture with them.
Oh, I hope somebody filmed that because I would like to see the footage.
It's all over YouTube. Just
I've got
it out. They are whooping each other's butts. You see Mickey getting into a headlock. Minnie is punching somebody in the face. Goofy is getting kicked and stomped. Elmo's freaking doing a pile driver. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I've never seen Buzz Lightyear actually fly, but he flew. His ass got tossed.
Welcome to New York City, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, New York. How you doing? Get yourself a coffee and sit down and enjoy the show.
People watch. That's good times. All right, Jamie, we have to leave this up to you, my friend. Are you ready to vocalize? And if you are,
as always, it's time for Jamie's page.
Dear God. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
Right. So, big news this week. Carl, Mr. Jacobson himself and myself have been working hard and organising a virtual craft festival, which will consist of 16 people for a day-long online event, which will be happening on Saturday, August 22nd, which will start at 10 o'clock in the morning GMT, until 2 o'clock until the next morning, which will be the 23rd. Or if you're Pacific Standard Time, it's 2 o'clock in the morning until 6 p.m. at night. We didn't work out for Eastern, sorry.
All right, so Eastern time. Well, no, that's okay. Eastern time, that is 5 a.m. until 9 p.m. And that's happening. That's happening this coming Saturday, correct?
Yeah, that's 22nd.
Okay,
that's correct. So yeah, like I said, there's 16 people on there, and it's running all day. So yeah, and to find out more information about that, you can go to the website, which is virtuallycrafty.com. Okay, I'm just about to put a link into the chat for that right now. There we go.
I'll put that in the description later on for Wednesday when this comes out as well, because that's kind of a cool event. All right, cool.
No worries. So my shout out this week. So I'm about that close from hitting 5,000 subscribers, and I asked Jake on the panel here to make me a blank to give away for the giveaway. So there's me thinking that there'd be like maybe a bottle stopper or something like that, but no, Jake went full Texas style. So Jake made a Texas style resin blank for the giveaway. So I'll be releasing a video right after this show at 11 o'clock in about half an hour, explaining the deal of how you can win that blank Jake just showed there. So if you're on SoundCloud, sorry, you just missed a blank. But
no. Wait a minute. Wait. This is a podcast. Jake, please explain that blank. Tell the people what's in it, and so that Jamie, you're such a dunk. You've got wood on the bottom. What's the character that you have sitting in the top?
It's this like a porcelain figurine of a baby dragon.
Oh, awesome.
And then there's Scott Grove, easy to inlay all through the burl. And it's stabilized maple burl and almost 4,000 grams of
Yep.
resin.
That's Texas size.
Texas size.
So my
That's awesome.
shout out
It actually
is
looks
Jake's
really, really nice.
video of
Thank you.
him making said blank.
Your shout out. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Your shout out is what?
My shout out is Jake's video of him making said blank.
Awesome. And Jay, I know Jay's been busy off. Are you done, Jimmy? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm done. Yeah.
Jay's been obviously, if you haven't heard, been working like 16-hour days, so he hasn't had a chance to see or promote anybody except, oh my God, I need to make another bed. But I know, Jake, you've had a couple minutes on the side. So who do you got?
Well, it's Jamie. I know how hard it is to do a video every week. I can't do it. The next few weeks I'm going to have it, but he does it every week. He has a premiere every week. He's in the chats every week. He does this every week, and he's almost to 5K. And I know how hard it is to gain that traction and momentum. So my shout out is that guy right there, Jamie Page.
Thank you very much.
So Jamie shouted out you, and you shout out Jamie. So Jay, you and I are caught in the middle of a big circle jerk right now. So
So I'm gonna say this then. My shout out is gonna be to everybody, actually. It's everybody that's not giving up. If you believe in yourself and not listening to the naysayers and the negative and all those trolls and all that crap that you can't do this or whatever, this shout out's for you because you deserve it. Every once in a while, you need to hear somebody believes in you. And if anything, just remember, believe in yourself. You can do whatever it is you have planned in your nut, right? Just do it. Just go with it, do it, believe in yourself, and go forward.
Jay, you should get like a number that people can call for inspiration. It's like Jay's inspirational hotline. So you can pick up the phone and dial, 1-800-Jay help me or something. And then just,
I used to do it on my Instagram all the time.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
People started saying, well, come on, Jay, we want to see this. We want to see. All right, just stop doing it.
I told you Jay wasn't a troublemaker. The man has a heart of gold. He seriously does. But I won't say that ever again because I have this thing with Jay that I just need to keep him in his place. Because he's a lot bigger than I am. He could kick my little butt with his pinky. My shout out this week has to go to Al's Hack Shack. He put out a video about a week ago. And I wasn't here last week because of the power outage that Connecticut was so blessed to have. But this was going to be my shout out last week, so it's going to be in the one this week. He put out a video about a week ago, simply titled with the capital letter A. And once again, it's Al's Hack Shack. If you're not familiar, get out from under that rock and go check out Al's channel and then subscribe to him because you need to go see this. And I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. It's Al, and it's good. So that's all you need to know. Al's Hack Shack, capital letter A. Watch that video. It's funny. It's brilliant. I don't know what to tell you. That's it. End of love for me.
Actually, I just want to have I have two shout outs. So I'm gonna have one more shout out.
Oh jeez.
I'll send you a link in a minute. I actually want to give Dale from Maple Tree Studios a shout out. Because Dale was the one that basically set up and helped me with the website for the Virtual Craft Festival. So we couldn't have got that website done without him. So thank you very much, Dale. It's much appreciated. And Dale was my other shout out.
See what happens when I start talking about people believing in you? It just leaks out.
Right out the pores, mate. Right out the pores.
Oh yeah.
We're done. It's time to wrap this thing up. Jay, my dear friend, thank you for taking the time today. I know it was not easy for you. Jake, and you are also a dear friend. Thank you for taking the time. And I'm sorry you have to be friends with Jamie, but you are, so that's your problem, not mine. Jamie, it's always good to see you too, my friend. So please wrap this up and let's get out of here.
I wish I could say the same. Right. So big thanks to everyone out in the chat. Let's quickly go and run through a few names. So we've got Ian in the shed, Charles Deering, Emmett from Dead Rise Woodcraft, Mark the Gentleman Woodturner, Doug Miller, Donald, which is Love Angel, Karam Hussain, Steve Coombs, John C, AH Bespoke, Jake, you're out there. Mark Crystal was out there. I'm just gonna end the show there. I'm gonna be scrolling for weeks if I don't stop. So yeah, big thanks to everyone that was out in the chat. If you weren't here when we say what we like about it, I think that's what Richard says or whatever. So yeah, we will we'll see you next week when we probably might know what we're talking about.
Have a great week, everybody.
See you later, everybody.
See you later.
See y'all
Later.
All right, done and dusted. You guys want to